Good morning. So if you have ever told yourself things like you lack willpower, you're too flaky, you need to be stronger, this is a video for you, okay? So I'm gonna offer you an analogy this morning to consider. So I want you to imagine that you're juggling balls, okay? And each ball that you're juggling is a different habit that you are holding on to in your life. And some of the habits, some of these balls that you're juggling are really easy for you. You don't really have to think about them. They might be things like brushing your teeth or, making yourself breakfast in the morning. But some of them also might be pretty hard for you to keep up in the air. Those are probably the habits that you're the proudest of. They might be things like healthy eating or exercising. It may be things like showing up to places on time or not oversleeping or going to bed at the right time. So these are the newer habits likely that are in your life because they're things you had to pick up later and that you had to learn. So you're juggling your balls. Maybe you've even been doing it for a while now. Things are going really well. And then some sort of stressful experience happens for you. And when this stressful experience happens, you have like 10 new balls thrown at you. So now you have all these extra balls. And these stress balls, they're not normal balls. They're on fire. And if you drop one of those balls, something really important to you is going to get burned up. So what do you do in this situation? You can't hold all these balls. It's just way too many. And so what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up dropping some of the balls that take the most effort to keep up in the air. And those are probably those new habits that you're really proud of, right? So when you drop these balls, something happens in your mind that I like to call mind mischief. And what mind mischief is it's the thoughts that your brain is throwing at you to try to help you that actually feel like really unpleasant. And those are the thoughts like, I have no willpower, I'm weak, I'm flaky, I lack focus. And the reason your brain's doing that to try to help you is it wants you to be able to like grind it out and like show up and really just like, just dig in to do it. But it doesn't work. So you can go ahead and you can drop this juggling analogy for just a minute. We're gonna come back to it. And I want you to think instead about a typical stress response that you have. For me, my typical stress response frequently is that I'll get a piece of cake. I really love birthday cake. I really love frosting. For me, it feels comforting and nurturing. And I want you to think about your own stress response, and I want you to know that it is not a problem. It does not matter what it is, whatever your stress response is, that's just your normal thing you go to, even if it's not the most healthy thing in the world, it is so not a problem, right? One piece of cake, not a problem. The problem comes when instead of having one piece of cake, you need to eat 50 whole cakes, right? 50 whole cakes is a problem. And so the problem that you're having when you're in this stress response has nothing to do with the cake. It has nothing to do with the fact that you dropped the balls of healthy eating. It has nothing to do with the fact that you ate one piece of cake. What it has to do with is the 50 cakes. And what we're talking about there is really just your resiliency cycle. It's too long. You need a shorter resiliency cycle. You need to be able to take yourself from doing great, juggling all your balls, to a stress response where you eat cake, all the way back to juggling all your balls in a shorter period of time, so that the number of pieces of cake that you need to eat just aren't a problem. So here's what's really cool is resiliency skills are completely teachable. It's just that most of us don't learn them. Like if you try to think for a second about, who taught me resiliency, the answer is probably no one. So next time you find yourself having these mind mischief thoughts like I lack willpower, or I'm flaky, or I'm weak, I'm scatterbrained, I want you, I invite you to ask yourself, is what I really need right now just better resiliency skills? I think the answer is likely yes. And right now on our planet, I think it makes so much sense that everybody could benefit from this training. Whether you're focused on global events or whether you're focused on rising costs in your daily life, this is a really stressful time to be a human being. So needing 50 cakes to soothe yourself makes a lot of sense, but it's not necessary. So I just want to offer to you that if you think that you could benefit from resiliency skills, I'm here to help. This is what I teach. I love what I teach. You can learn to be resilient faster, and it's really not that hard to learn these skills that will then have a dramatic effect both on your self-talk and on what you can achieve. All right, I hope this is helpful to you. Take care.